Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the podcast, another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Connor Cardenas. And before we get into it, I just want to give a huge shout out to one of the main sponsors of Caffeine and Green, which is 7 Seas Roasting Company, coming straight out of San Diego, California. An amazing coffee roaster that I happen to work for. But other than that, I mean, the coffees that we're dealing with are coffees that are from Southeast Asia, from Vietnam, from Laos, from Mexico, all over the world, really. But we have amazing coffees coming out, and we have some new selections for you. So if you head over to the website, you're going to be seeing a new launch of a Lao coffee that we have coming out called the Non-Kali. It has a little bit of dried mango flavor, a little bit of butter cookie, and some almond. I mean, it is fire if I've ever had some Laotian coffee. That's all I got to say about that one. And for all you decaffeinated woke people out there, I would definitely say decaf. I know. Believe it or not, decaf is finally available at 7 Seas. So if you've been wanting to try the coffee but haven't been able to because it's been a little too caffeinated for you, head over, pick up that decaf. And furthermore, if you go ahead and when you're at checkout, use code C&G, all one word, CANDG at checkout, you're going to get the deal 3 for $30. So you can get the Non-Kali, you can get a bag of decaf, and then one of our other stapled coffees. Unfortunately, the charity roasts don't apply to this deal, but we have so many other coffees, you'll be able to get that. And that's a no-brainer because that's one bag of coffee for free. One bag of coffee is $16. If you get two of them, that's $32. 3 for $30, it's a no-brainer. So head over to the website, put in code C&G at checkout to get that deal. And the newest sponsor of Caffeine and Green, shout out to Thorn Street Brewery. It's a brewery here in San Diego on Thorn Street, and it's in North Park, and there's also one in Barrio Logan, but they basically have come aboard. I mean, they have amazing beers, a new one called Tread Lightly that is fantastic for all you healthy people out there. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, but so shout out to the newest sponsor. Thank you again, and hopefully all y'all will start drinking that Thorn Street, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Dennis. All right, y'all. My guest today is a Mr. Pablo Lara. He is a coffee connoisseur, if you will. He is definitely locally known and well known in this area. And I can even go as far as to say he's internationally known. He is just, in my opinion, he's like the coffee expert down here in San Diego. And I feel really honored that he actually came on the show today. I was extremely excited to have him on, and it was amazing. He came on because we were going to talk about the Cold Brew City Fest, and it's an event that I'm competing in. A bunch of homies are competing in the next couple weeks, and we really delve deep into that. But then also we get to hear about his origin story and how he came to working in coffee, and then the origin, the places of origin that he's gone to. So buckle up if you're a coffee geek because I love it. It was amazing. It was an invigorating conversation, and I truly honored the time that he came onto the show. So without further ado, my man, Pablo Lara. This your time to shine, homie. Let's go. Caffeine and Green. It's your boy Connor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and Green. Try it again. And we are live. Pablo, how are you doing, sir?
Pretty good.
Welcome to Caffeine and Green.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. I usually just start with a cheers, and cheers. I have to say, cheers. Oh, yeah. Not too bad. It's okay. We actually are cheersing coffee. Dude, I want to say out of something in the mid-70s now of episodes, there's only been like 3 people who have actually drank coffee. You're like number 3. For sure. But, I mean, this is good. I'm going to go to the gym after this, so I'm like, I don't even need a pre-workout. Boom, I got it right here.
That's perfect.
Yep, just coffee all day.
Love drinking coffee before going to the gym.
But, man, I'm really excited to have you on the show today. I was telling you before the podcast that a lot of people today, at least like 4 people, were asking me about you and having you on the podcast, and they're like, oh, what? Like, that's going to be a good one. Like, oh, hell yeah. So, that being said, I usually just kind of get right into it. And the reason I wanted to have you on is because you are one of the creators and event organizers for the Cold Brew City Fest here in San Diego.
Correct.
Yes. So for people who don't know or don't know who you are in terms of that, can you describe what the Cold Brew City Fest is?
Yeah. So this is as of right now, it's the largest coffee festival in San Diego, and we have it once a year for the past 4 years. This is going to be our fourth edition of the festival. So we bring together a bunch of vendors that are either coffee vendors or have something to do with coffee. And then on top of that, we also have a like friendly competition where coffee roasters from San Diego, Tijuana, Ensenada, LA, Long Beach, Inland Empire like get together and compete for best cold brew in different categories.
Yes.
So you kind of have those two things, and then on top of that, we like also have live music every year, different DJs, and raffles, and we always have a theme to bring it all together and kind of like create this like coffee Comic-Con kind of concept.
Yes.
So we try to keep it local and inclusive, and yeah, it's a really fun event that happens once a year, and it's all independently like organized. No big companies behind it. It's just 3 people like organizing a fun event.
So you said 3 people. So you have a team of 2 other people then that help you out?
Yes, correct.
Can you tell me about those people?
Yeah. So first, well, I'm the event director, so I kind of like oversee the event just like happening and like kind of just overseeing like the venue and money coming in and out and all of that stuff, and the video, and we all have like different tasks, but mostly I like oversee the organization of the festival. And then
Cool.
we have Itzel Islas at Itzel. That's her like Instagram. She's our creative director, so she does all the graphic design work, and I feel like that's really put us on the map.
What's her
At
name?
least Itzel.
Itzel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Itzel Islas. So she designs everything that has to do with the festival, like all,
Cool.
or you've seen our logos and all the graphic design work, and then
Like this logo right here?
yeah, perfect, yeah,
Okay.
that merchandise like the t-shirt I'm wearing, and day of
For people who can't see it, he's wearing this Cold Brew City Fest shirt with like lightning bolts and looking like a checkerboard and a yay thing. It looks pretty sick. And a
Yeah.
coffee bean.
yeah,
It looks sick.
she also does like a lot of the decor for day of the event, and curates like the lineup of artists that we have every year. So every year
Cool.
she chooses like a really fun group of artists that like coffee, and she does a really good job at that. So that's what she does. And then we have Kat Adams.
Yeah.
They organize all the competition, the logistics of the competition. Kat is spends a lot of their time in the U.S. championship for the barista championships.
Yeah.
So they're like heavily involved with the SCA on that front. So having them and their knowledge with organizing a competition that's like legit,
yeah.
with like score sheets and numbers and everything is quantified, like it's that's Kat's job, and making sure all the competitors are ready, and they take care of that part of the festival. So I think the 3 of us combining our strengths make this possible and not like a shit show.
Yeah. That's super awesome. So that raised a really good point. I didn't even know that, because I am going to be competing in the Cold Brew City Fest. We've been working on it for quite some time now, and we're excited. But I didn't know there was scoring. I thought it was just voting. But we're getting scored?
Yeah. So there's 2 different categories as far as so we have 3 categories.
Yeah.
But there's the design category. That one the public just votes on like who has the best design setup, and that's quickly becoming like a popular category as well. But as far as like the cold brew goes, you have 2 categories: the signature, which is the public gets to vote for their favorite, so it's people's favorite, people's choice, which they will taste blind. So competitors submit their cold brew, we give you a number, and no one knows which one it is that they're trying.
Do we know?
Actually, you won't know.
So the competitors are blind as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So yeah, you just give Kat and their volunteers your cold brew, and then we'll know.
You guys will know.
And then we handle the sampling. So that's pretty unique, I think, as
Dude,
far
I just
as
got
like
really excited.
cold brew festivals or cold brew competitions go. We really want to like level out the playing field. It's cool to have like startup companies, and then we have like big companies competing on the same platform. And we really like, whenever we have the first, second, third place, like we have small companies, big companies, like it's just whoever really like puts the time in creating like the perfect cold brew for the festival. So that's the signature category. And then we have the original category, which is literally just coffee and water. And then for that category, you give us the cold brew submission, and then we have 3 sensory judges, usually Q certified or coffee professionals that Kat selects for their trajectory in the coffee industry. And then they have a score sheet very similar to like a cupping score sheet that's based on the US Barista Championship scorecard. And so with your submission, you will receive your scorecard, and the judges are also judging your cold brew blind, so they don't know whose coffee they're trying. They'll just give it a number, and then at the end we add up all the numbers, and then whoever has the highest score wins.
So does the person is there like going to be one person holding on to all of the numbers? Like who's assigned to which number? Only one person will know, because the judges obviously aren't going to know.
Correct. Yeah, it'll be Kat.
Oh, okay. But is Kat
and me
will be trying will the coffees as well?
Yes.
Okay. But she'll know what they are. Or they will know what they are.
Yeah, they will know what they are, but they make a really good job at not saying. And honestly, like we just write it down, and we keep that in a safe place. So it's not like they will remember exactly. We have 15 submissions this year, so I don't think they're really going to be like, oh yeah, number 6 is Bird Rock. Like, not really.
Well, that was another question that I had, is how many slots are open?
Yeah, so for original this year we have 15.
Okay.
For signature we have 10.
Okay.
And for design we have 7.
Oh wow.
So we've and everything's been booked for like at least 3 weeks already. So yeah, we have a lot of different companies. Some people do all 3 categories, some people do 1 category or 2 categories. So it's hard for me to know exactly the number of companies, but around like 20 companies competing.
That's super awesome.
From all over the place. So this year we have a lot of companies from Tijuana. We have Electric Coffee Roasters, Hoyo Negro, Alameda Cafe. We have competitors from Long Beach. We have Black Ring, Gen Brewing from Inland Empire. That's like Rancho Cucamonga.
Okay.
LA, we have a lot. Good Vibes. We have a lot of LA competitors, and of course our San Diego people.
Who from can I ask you who from San Diego besides us?
Who's competing?
Yeah.
Let's see. I feel like pretty much everyone.
Like Bird Rock, like James.
Bird Rock. We have Leap Coffee. Competing.
Asa.
Yeah, first year.
Shout out Asa.
Modern Times.
Okay.
7 Seas. Cafe Moto. Yeah, just a lot of people. We have Manzanita. Dude. We have John's Coffee. Yeah, pretty much everyone is competing.
Manzanita.
Koba, yeah, this is their first year competing as well.
Kova?
Yeah.
Whoa. Damn.
So I'm excited because I feel like everyone this year is for sure bringing it for the original mostly.
Dude, that's when I was talking to Eric, because when I was talking to Eric about this, I was under the impression we were just going to do the signature. And then he's like, I don't even remember now what had happened, but I was like, no, I want to do original, because that with no mix, like that's the real proof right there, because then it's like, yo, the proof is in the pudding right there.
Yeah. And then last year's winner, West Bean, is also gonna compete.
West Bean was the winner last year? Damn. What was their recipe like? What did it taste like? How about that?
Oh, it was perfect.
It was perfect.
Yeah, it was so good because I feel like a lot of people do single origins, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but we had Bird Rock win 2017 with a single origin Ethiopia. That was fantastic. But West Bean's blend last year was
It's just fire.
yeah, like it tasted like a perfect blend.
That's awesome.
I think it had like a honey Costa Rica and I think like a Guatemala. I don't know, but it was like perfectly chocolatey and like it tasted like it had candy in it.
Ooh, what?
And
Fire.
yeah, it was like perfectly extracted and delicious.
Dude, that's what's up.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It was really good.
I'm really excited. We've actually,
Mm-hmm.
we were just talking about it today. All right, for Cold Brew City Fest, blah, blah, blah. I was in Tired Eyes over the weekend. Shout out my boy Tyler over there.
He's competing too.
Yeah. Dude, it was so sick. This girl walked in. I don't know who this girl was, but I heard him talking. I overheard him say like, "Oh, are you getting ready for Cold Brew City Fest?" Like, "Oh," and the girl was like, "Yeah, like kind of stressing a little bit about it." And it was all, "Oh, wow, it's kind of cool because like she didn't know who I was and I didn't know who she was, but I hear her talking about it and I'm like, oh, I'm competing. I know Tyler's competing. It's just like, oh, dude, it's kind of sick to just be around the vibe of what people are starting to, as a creator, I'm sure you'd want to hear, people are excited. People are ready to like come with it. I think that's so rad.
Pretty surreal. I definitely that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted like people to take ownership of the product that they're going to submit, not just like a big company submitting it and just not really caring. Like I feel like everyone's putting a lot of work, and every year, like I know Modern Times too, they have like cuppings before and stuff like that. So I know everyone's putting a lot of work and effort. So like on our end, we really want to choose good judges, and we provide you your scorecard. Kat's really good about that. So
sick. Dude, that's going to be a good time. I mean, have you seen, obviously we haven't tasted the coffees yet, but in comparison to last year, has it grown? You said this is the fourth year. I mean, is it kind of the same amount of people already, or is it the same faces, or is it starting to grow more and you're starting to see all these different people?
We definitely, this year, we've never been sold out of vendor or competitor spots like a month before. That's never happened. We're always like till the last minute. So every year it just keeps getting like, if you don't sign up,
you're done
immediately. Like you're not gonna have a spot. But at the same time, we do try to make it accessible for every size company. So we do email initially to some people that have participated in the past. But we definitely also reached out to like newcomers or new companies who we see would take this seriously and kind of give them the opportunity to participate.
Yeah. And how did you do that? Did you find them on Instagram? Did you like personal, the people?
Yeah, mostly honestly Instagram.
Oh, wow. That's cool. You just reach out and like, yo, what's poppin'? How you doing?
Yeah.
Dude, that's tight.
And a lot of people reach out to us too. So we
sick.
We do the job of reaching back out, which is a lot of work.
Yeah.
For all of us. But
well, you guys all have regular jobs too, all within coffee.
All of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude. So, my initial question now is why did you want to do this? What was the motivation behind starting Cold Brew City Fest with Kat and Isel? Itzel. Yeah.
Well, it definitely did not start like this. It started, this is our fourth year. So like 5 years ago, I used to be part of the San Diego Coffee Network and the like organizing team.
Yeah.
And we were trying to think of an event that we can put on that didn't revolve around the latte art throwdown.
Okay.
So we had a lot of like meetings and sessions about like, okay, what do we do? Something that's different that like no one else is doing. So we had a cupping event and that was cool.
Yeah.
We had it at James. This is like 5 years ago. And that was super fun. But it was at the time it was me, Julie, and Jess. And we went to the Bloom event in LA 5 years ago. It was the first Bloom event that they had. And they had like really cool vendors and they had talks. And it was like a well curated lineup of vendors. It wasn't just like cheesy coffee products. It was like cool aprons and cool coffee roasters. So it seemed put together, and we were like, well, we should combine that for sure. And then in my head, I was like, cold brew is like an easy thing that we can do a competition that we don't need like espresso machines. Cause also at the time there was like the espresso competitions, but like it requires a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I feel like a lot of people wanted that to happen. And back then, like cold brew was it had just started, honestly. And I remember I was working at Bird Rock at the time, and a lot of us at Bird Rock, like, we had our own little cold brew fests. Like, we would choose our own coffees that we liked, and then we would make cold brews. And then, like, during our breaks, we would bring the cold brews that we made at home. Like, this is back with Chris from Coffee Cycle. Like, we all worked at Bird Rock, and it was fun because, like, he would bring his, Amaro cold brew or Ethiopian natural, and someone would make, like, Sumatra, and then like we would try it, and like we didn't serve it at the cafe because it was like,
yeah, it's just you and your homies.
It was, yeah. And I was like, this is cool, I like this and I like that it's like baristas owning this product. And I don't know, it was like a mix of all those things that kind of like inspired me to do something like what we're doing now. And then the first year I didn't organize it. The first year was organized by Jess, who used to be the director of the Coffee Network. And that was the year Mostra won. Super cool.
Oh, damn.
But the structure was a little different. It was more like, you were the vendor and the competitor. So like people tried your cold brew there at your booth and then voted, like right in front of you, kind of a thing.
Oh, wow.
So different structure.
Okay.
And yeah, so then the second year on, Jess decided to kind of hand it off to me, and I kind of took it more into the direction that I originally like wanted to see it at. And at the time, I met like Excel at an art show, and she had really cool like paintings of like coffee cups and really cool art that like had coffee incorporated into it. And when I saw it, I was like, that's actually how I kind of met her. I mean, she was a regular at my coffee shop, but that was the first time we like talked as like possible partners in the project. I saw her artwork, and it just like spoke to me as like a fun coffee, like just art that was like not cheesy.
Yeah.
And I just saw it, and I was like, one day I really want to have like a cool art festival that had coffee in it. And she was like, me too. And then I was like, let's make it happen. And then at the same time, Kat came in to be the director of one of the directors of the Coffee Network. And I saw how they were like organizing the event. So yeah, it's been a like an evolution of how the event
things just naturally happened.
Yeah,
kind of fell into place.
Yeah, and definitely teamed up with Itzel to do the art and design, and then I teamed up with the San Diego Coffee Network because it was like my first year organizing it, and I could not do it on my own.
Yeah.
Jess was like, okay, now you can do it, because she like decided to leave the Coffee Network, and I partnered up with the Coffee Network, which was Kat and Matt Eaton at the time.
Yeah.
And then for the third year, it was just me, Kat, and Itzel. And now fourth year, it's just the three of us again. I think like the less people that you have is just better to like delegate.
We could take more responsibility of certain things. It's easier to control the situation a little bit. Yeah.
And it's all like our time that we put in it. So it's definitely, we're not at the size where we could have like a big staff, or have a lot of people, and we need like really clear direction in each of our roles. And I think like right now 3 people is like good.
Yeah.
And these are people that I like rely on, and we just communicate and work in a good manner naturally.
Yeah.
So that's how it came to be.
That's awesome. So then with that being said, I mean, as the progression of the Coffee Fest has grown, and people now are starting to recognize from the immediate surrounding areas in Southern California and now in Mexico, my initial question now is, have you thought about expanding to different cities across the United States in general? Or, I mean, like, have people approached you about that?
Yeah, definitely. I get hit up a lot. Like, hey, let's do it in Tijuana. Let's do it in LA. I learned from experience. The first year I was given the event to like organize. I was like, you know what? It's going really well. Let's do it in San Francisco too. And it was like too much because like I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
Everyone has a full-time job. And Tessie from Modern Times was like, you know, Pablo, it's really important to like develop something locally before you expand it. But I was just so excited and I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it got to the point where I was like, you know what? No. She's right. And like
Well, yeah.
I think it's better to develop something locally and do it really well. Like I feel like every year we get more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's just so many little things that you have to do, but I feel like you know, booking the venue and getting everything organized, making the video on time, making all the marketing material on time takes a lot of just procedures and steps put into place through like actual live experience.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think we're at that point. But at the same time, we've had this conversation and we like having it in San Diego only because I feel like out of the major like coffee cities, we're like the only one that doesn't have like a big coffee fest. You know, like LA has one.
Dude, they have two.
They have two.
They have two.
You know, San Francisco has it.
What's
So
that one called?
it's the San Francisco Coffee Festival.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know, San Diego doesn't have one of those, and I really don't want one of those like big companies to come and just kind of like put this very commercial event
Like
organized
at the convention center or something.
Yeah, organized by people that don't know our community and how we work together. Don't know the vendors that support our community already. So I really don't want that to happen. And I really like the fact that San Diego is like right in the middle of this like SoCal region that, you know, it's accessible from people from Mexico to come, from Tijuana and Ensenada and Tecate. We get a lot of those people that come to the festival, which is why we like to involve having vendors from Tijuana, competitors from Tijuana. And then it makes the people from LA take a trip down, you know, and see how we're doing here. And I do like making them come.
Yeah, like, hey,
and
SD.
And same from like the Inland Empire people. They always support our events, and I feel like we provide a good venue for all these different communities to come together. And I feel like here in San Diego, we're very like welcoming to people from other places. So I feel like I like it here, and I want it to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple reasons, but those are like the biggest ones.
Dude, I mean, I completely agree with all that. But as you were saying that, something that came to mind was that's so San Diego. That's such a San Diego thing. I mean, you look here, of course, there's Starbucks and there's Coffee Beans and there's the chains. Mm-hmm. But how many chains here are just local San Diego chains, right? Hodad's, Pizza Port. Like you go to the Padre Stadium, you see all pretty much local vendors, whatever it is, beers, everything. Why wouldn't coffee follow suit and just we have this great coffee community. You have this event put on by people who worked in the industry for a long time, and it's just, dude, that's so San Diego. Like I love that because there's nobody here doing that. I mean, I could see it if it were to happen. It would just be like, oh, it's at the convention center. It's gonna, XYZ company is gonna be here. But the one thing I would, as to an event person myself, the event coordinator, I think there's nothing better than having people from different cities coming, and especially all over the state. And then you got international essentially. So you're recognized really as an international coffee competition or, City Fest, whatever. And then, dude, if you could get like people from like out of state or even from like San Francisco to come down, if you got...
Yeah, actually, well, last year we had Abracadabra compete.
Oh, wow.
And they're from Nebraska, I want to say.
Oh, what? That's sick.
Or, sorry, I could be wrong. But Oh man.
It's all good.
Awesome company.
Yeah.
They competed in the design competition. Actually, let's look it up.
Dude.
And this year we had a lot of people like message us on Instagram and telling us that they're flying from Texas. Like a lot of people from Austin and Houston, like they're flying for the festival, and they like let us know on Instagram because I think they're like really excited.
Dude, hell yeah, that's so sick.
So we love that, and then we've been getting a lot of traction too from, Vermont.
Oh, damn.
Abracadabra from Vermont.
Dude, that's straight up East Coast.
Yeah,
damn.
They competed, and people from Mexico City also want to compete.
Wow.
So yeah, we like having it here in San Diego.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
I'm about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's so sick. So with the success of Cold Brew City Fest, and I know you guys have full-time jobs, and you're doing this, but staying locally, have you thought about also doing a different event as well? Like not Cold Brew City, but something along those lines is like kind of like the Coffee Network, but just bigger events, like bigger stages of barista competitions or roasting competitions or anything like that?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, I think we're all about just like perfecting what the niche that we've
Yes.
found.
That's awesome.
At this point.
Okay.
Because I feel like we're all like super overwhelmed by like our daily just jobs that we have. And we are doing that. And I keep telling the team, like, we do this because we have a passion for it.
Yeah.
Let's not overdo it. Let's do it because we enjoy it. So like, I'm literally obsessed with like making the video and all that stuff that's creative. Like I love doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I want to keep doing that because it lets me do that.
Yeah, it just lets you create.
Mm-hmm.
So do you film everything? Do you do all the video yourself?
No, I just direct.
You just direct? Okay.
Yeah.
So you do like a videographer or
Mm-hmm.
cinematographer or whatever? Tight.
Yeah, and this is the second year we work with Joe, who helps us make the vision for the theme every year, like come to life.
So what's this theme this year?
High school. So it's
high
school spirit. So not technically high school, but it's school spirit. So
oh wait, what does this mean? Yo, tell me more.
So we're hoping people. So first we that was just a theme. I have like a list of themes that like I hope we bring to life in the future. But this was just one that I always thought was like cool and cute, like just the idea of like going to school and like I love 80s movies.
Okay.
So, there's so many like
Pretty in Pink,
Heathers,
Breakfast
Club, and I love like the 90s ones too, like Saved by the Bell.
TV shows.
TV shows and movies,
okay,
like just like
yeah, dude, Saved by the Bell,
cheesy
classic.
like stuff like that I love.
Okay.
So this was definitely a theme that I wanted to do, and I feel like at least for the video, I've always been inspired by the movie Heathers for some reason. Like I just think it's like super cool. If not all people have seen it, it's like a cult movie, but it has Winona Ryder and she's pretty awesome.
Okay.
But yeah, so I like saw the movie and I was like, one day I have to do something with this, and this finally gave me the opportunity
yes.
to like we redid the opening scene of the movie, but like Cold Brew City inspired. So it's like if you watch the intro for the movie and then you watch our video, you're gonna be like, okay, that's where he's getting it, because it's like 3 girls playing croquet and drinking cold brew in like a really fancy house, and that's basically what that movie is. So yeah, it's like preppy high school, or like like Grease 50s, or you can do like 80s geek, or like 90s plastic
hip-hop
girl. Yeah, like do whatever you want to do, like whatever clique you want to represent, like do it and bring your friends and like dress up. We're definitely like gonna promote that this year. A lot of people dressed up last year. Last year's theme was tennis. So yeah, we had some people come with their, like, even Annie Ruth from Finca Loma La Gloria, like her dogs had tennis outfits on. So we're definitely promoting the themes. It just makes it fun.
Dude, I did not know about the theme part, so I'm 100% in. We got to talk to our team. We're gonna be like, all right, who we dress up as? That sounds hella sick.
Yeah. So that's what keeps me going, is just like living those themes.
Can we have like team chants?
Like Team Chance? Yeah, definitely.
Like school spirit or whatever. Like, or
that's a great idea.
Yeah, like like we are like something like we are the Husky. Like we had like high school chants like that, but
I love it.
Stuff like that.
So then on we had chosen that theme, and then we were touring venues.
Oh, okay.
We came across this venue. It's called Park West in Bankers Hill.
Okay.
It's like blocks from Balboa Park, right near the West Bean in Bankers Hill, and the James Coffee, like right in that area.
Okay.
And we get there, and like the front of it literally looks like the high school from like Back to the Future. Like it's just like super traditional high school.
Okay.
From like back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay, it has to be here.
Sick. It's
a little smaller than we would have wished for it, but it's perfect for the theme. So we're gonna like decorate it to make it look like a pep rally,
dude.
And we're hoping everyone enjoys that.
Yeah, I'm getting more excited. I mean, honestly, I'm already, like I said earlier in the conversation, I'm already excited about this. But the more you're talking to me about it, I'm just like, dude, I can't wait. I want to be there already, because I know it's just gonna be homies.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's a competition, and whatever. But it's all about the homies. Like you're the homie, Cat's the homie. Dude, I know all the people competing are gonna be. I was like, oh, what's up, bro? Like, just excited as hell. So that's the best part.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I cannot wait. But another thing I wanted to ask you, and mainly just to kind of shift gears a little bit, is I want to talk about your story in general. Because, I mean, the Cold Brew City Fest, I mean, we could fill up a lot of time about that. But before we get any farther, I definitely wanted to let the listeners know exactly who like Pablo Lara is. Because when I first met and like heard about you in the coffee community down here, you're like, this guy, he's from Ecuador. He's amazing at coffee. He knows everything. He knows a lot of people. He kind of knows everybody. And that's how I was pointed out. You were pointed out to me. I was like, oh, okay. But then I seen you at this coffee competition, and you were the only person who got all of the the defect ones out. Or you're like, this one's a defect, blah, 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 blah. And so what the hell? And then so through, processes of just people who knew you or like talked about you, and then I actually met you myself and I was able to work with you. It's just, dude, you have quite the story about you've grown up in coffee. Like you've been involved in coffee like your whole life in general, right?
I mean, coffee has definitely been part of like my upbringing.
Okay.
But just the like respect of it, I guess. Didn't grow in like a coffee family or anything like that, but definitely in Ecuador, like coffee was a thing, especially for my family.
Sick.
They definitely grew coffee at some point, but I didn't grow up around it, just respecting it. But yeah, just off from college, walked in and started working in coffee, and like that was it.
So when did you move here from Ecuador?
I was 12.
Damn. So you were
10.
You were there for a minute then.
Yeah.
Was it culturally shocking to come like from Ecuador to here? Was it your first time, or have you been here before? Or?
Yeah. So no, it was definitely not easy.
Yeah, I bet.
But I think it was a great experience. I feel like it made me who I am.
Yeah.
Being able to like, work with different people and understand different people and just kind of be a little like fearless about things, because definitely like immigration's not easy.
Yeah.
Especially when like at that age. But I'm happy we ended up in San Diego.
Yeah. Did you guys plan on coming here?
No, it was just we just came. I don't know why, honestly, but
damn. So one day it was, hey, we're moving to San Diego.
Yeah, it was like, hey, we're gonna go to Disneyland, and then like we never went back.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Gangster. It's like, all right, deuces. Peace.
But yeah, it was right after college. I just wanted a job that was like fun before I went to grad school.
Grad school?
Yeah, I was supposed to go to grad school for history. I graduated from UCSD, and I was really into like history. I still am.
That's awesome.
And then I was like, okay, I want a fun job where I can just like live in North Park and not really care that much. So I was looking into either coffee shops or breweries, and I walked into Cafe Virtuoso, and I don't know, just like looking at the roasting machine, the roaster there, and the coffee beans and the espresso machine all in one place, I was like, this is super cool. And there's like so much to like learn about.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'll do this. And then honestly, it was working there that really like made me understand that this was more than just being a barista.
Yeah.
Because we've had like really good bosses, honestly, throughout my career that have allowed me to, be involved with cuppings and being involved with understanding sourcing and the importing side of it. I've been really lucky with, working with people that like have valued their employees, which is like super rare.
Yeah, that's super awesome when that happens.
And just working with a lot of people, like the group that I used to work with, it's like Sarah is now, she works at James, and it's like one of the general managers there.
Mm-hmm.
Alice Peters is now a green coffee trader. So I feel like a lot of people came out of that group because we were taught to like cup every morning, take classes for the SCAA. They like sent me to barista camp like my first year in coffee.
Sick.
And they sent me, and like I feel like if it wasn't for those opportunities, like I don't think I would have been I would have had the growth that I've had. And then after that I went to Bird Rock, and that was like another learning more about coffee origins and like higher, just really awesome coffees that we would get to try that Chuck used to source.
Just like a deeper understanding of what it was,
like
what coffee was, the complexities behind it and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a different school of mostly focus on like the sourcing and the respect for like the farmers and all of that stuff. Definitely from the Bird Rock era. And then started working for Global. Just took that risk of like, okay, I worked in coffee shops for like 4 years now, and made the jump to like an office, and that was really rough.
Dude, tell me about it. Yeah, what happened with you?
No, it was just hard to like stay awake, sitting down.
Dude, it's so
and
much.
Working with spreadsheets all the time. Like it was just all really new to me, but I was like, okay, this is what I have to do to keep growing.
Dude, yeah.
And then you get used to it, and then you learn, and it's all good. And now I'm at Inter-American, and it's just crazy to me because when I used to work at Virtuoso, they've been always like super loyal about buying from Inter-American and working with them. I mean, they're like down the street.
Yeah.
And I would see the people from Inter-American like come in, and I was like, one day I really want to work there. Like that's super cool what they do. And then like it's crazy. It's come in like a circle, and now I'm there.
Dude, you
like shipping the coffee for Virtuoso.
That's so sick, man. You willed it into existence, bro.
Mm.
That's real life. Dude, that's super rad. So have you, a lot of people who live in California generally like will move city to city at some point. You moved here straight from Ecuador. Have you gone to any other cities?
Just for travel, but
just not to live?
I've never, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, which is, it's definitely like, I don't know. I definitely always have the thought of like, okay, I should move at some point.
But I mean, San Diego is just so sick
especially
here.
with the fest and like,
Yeah.
now working for Inter-American, it's kind of like, I'm definitely going to be here for a little bit longer.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the best things that I love, and like I see you a lot now because like I'll be at Inter-American to do cuppings. That is by far, I guess I say I glorify it, but it's like, dude, you get to do that like every day, and then you get to hang out with Dana, and then what's your roaster, the shorter lady, Araceli. She's so nice, and she's just like sitting there cupping with you, and it's like, dude, hell yeah, this is so rad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take that for granted sometimes, or are you just every day you're like, hell yeah, this is super sick, like I get to do this?
No, I think it's awesome, and I also like being able to work with different companies all over the country. No, it's all good.
Will you have clients come in from out of state?
I feel like usually out of state customers we go to them.
Oh, sick.
But I definitely like being involved. Like we work a lot with Mostra, and they just won Micro Roaster of the Year.
Yeah.
So working with them, working with Bird Rock, Virtuoso, like I really enjoy working with the local people, small or big. Like I definitely like doing that, and yeah, I think it's awesome. It's good.
Do you get to travel a lot with Inter American?
I just started working there, so
Okay.
hopefully soon. I am starting to do more of their event planning for the office. Like the Taco Tuesday events that
fun.
we're doing, and then we're doing one in Oakland next Tuesday. So I will be there at
Sick.
Pulley Collective on Tuesday at 11 a.m. If you want to go, let me know. So yeah, and then we're doing one in LA in December.
Damn.
So hopefully like keep doing more of that, and then at some point hopefully doing like origin trips again and stuff like that.
Well, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. I'm glad you just nice little segue right there. The origin, you going to origin. I know another thing that when I was like told who you were, they were like, "Oh, dude, he knows like farmers and stuff and other like countries and stuff." That was just in super. I was like, "What? Who is that guy? I don't even understand." Like you had this like, I don't want to say persona, but it was like this air. Like that was like people when they told me who you were, it was like, "Oh, dude, that's Pablo." That's Pablo over there. So, is there any stories at Origin that you've done that were just super, I don't know, out of left field, you were super amazed, or was there just like a vibe that you were feeling, or you connected with people in your trips to Origin, favorite countries, or even just like favorite trips?
Yeah, I mean every trip is different, but yeah, there's so many stories, but I feel like again, I think the thing with the language that we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
That's definitely a thing because I worked at Global Coffee, and I used to be the one that would source the coffees that we would sell.
Well, wait,
and maintain those relationships.
Before we jump into like what we were talking about, to clarify, is that there was the language barrier because you just like skimmed over that. The language barrier between North America, essentially United States, and then any just Latin country, the Spanish English thing, there's like a disconnect, and not enough people on our side are speaking Spanish or being bilingual, and I guess some of the farmers, they don't speak English, so it's like there's people like you who are bilingual. You understand cultures, and you understand like the language more importantly, and you're able to kind of be that segue. So sorry, boom, right there.
Yeah, so I think because of that, my boss at Global, he put me in that position to be kind of like the liaison between our sales force here and the producers that we were buying from at Origin, and that kind of gave me the opportunity to just like work really closely with like real farmers and like help them a lot with marketing their coffees. And that was crazy to do that. It was really challenging, but super rewarding to be able to do that. And I think because I speak Spanish as my first language, but I also have seen how the market works here and what people want. When I go on these trips and I get to talk to the farmers, they definitely like tell me what's up. Like they don't really hide things from me, or if they do, like I'll be upfront and tell them to not.
Because you understand what you're saying.
Yeah, like I feel like definitely I get a feeling that because I speak their language, they're going to let me know exactly how they feel. Like if they're angry about something, or they don't think something's fair, or they don't understand why certain things don't happen, like they'll feel comfortable enough to ask me. I think also because I'm young, and they'll just tell me, and I feel like or whatever it is about my personality just helps them like be comfortable with telling me how they feel and what they need and what they wish. It kind of helps me maintain those relationships, and I feel like a lot of people that go, they don't speak the language, and they they don't really see the entire picture. They take the picture at the farm. Farmers usually tend to just say everything's okay, and smile for the photo. But if you speak their language, you definitely get to hear a lot more and how they're feeling. And yeah, it's definitely like a cultural thing. If they see you as a foreigner and you go into their communities, they're going to put their best face on, obviously, and make it seem like everything's all right. Yeah. But if you speak their language, it's definitely not going to be like that. But also, I feel like because, I am from Ecuador, I'm not like an American that like speaks Spanish.
You don't have like that accent.
Right, they know that I'm comfortable with a lot of things that I feel like most people wouldn't be, and it's definitely helped a lot. But it was also very like draining personally. Like it was intense.
Like mentally.
Yeah.
Just
like,
exhausting, kind of.
It was, but rewarding.
Yeah.
I definitely loved doing it, but it was
Well, because you're hearing the real, like just the rawness of what's really popping, and then you're not you can hear both sides. I mean,
and there was so much I could do too. So
yeah,
and I did my best on that. But yeah. So that's on the language, but definitely like good memories. I'll tell you like an intense memory first, and then I'll tell you like a fun memory. So super intense. Like I was invited to be one of the judges for this, kind of like best of Oaxaca competition put on by the University of Chapingo in Oaxaca, which is a really big university. And I was supposed to give the prizes for the winners, and it was a lot of like Oaxacan indigenous growers, like really poor growers, like small lots, like 3 to 5 bag lots, like really small farmers. And then this one guy who is amazing, like his coffee's great, Blue Bottle carries his coffee, but he's a whiter mestizo, and he like won every single category. And it was so awkward for me to like call out the name, and it was him, and I would have to give him like the prize money, which like I feel like he's well off already. He didn't really need the money at all.
Yeah.
And I just felt so bad, and it was so awkward. But so I had like, and I was in this like huge like stadium full of like the farmers, right?
Oh damn! So they're just getting pissed off. Like, what the hell?
So I would have to like turn around, just give everyone a smile, and just like I just started talking on the microphone, like telling them how like amazing the work that they're doing is, and like. Definitely whenever one of the farmers came in like second or third, like giving them more of a presence on the stage and having them talk about themselves and stuff like that. But it was like rough. That trip, Oaxaca is definitely an interesting place because I feel like Mexican people are definitely like more direct about what they're going to tell you. Like if you're a Spanish speaker, less than other cultures.
I feel like if you grew up in I'm Mexican. I'm half Mexican. Mm-hmm. Dude, a lot of my cousins just shoot the shit. Like, we might be American-born Mexicans, that's fine, but Spanish or not, my cousins, they're direct. They just, we don't cut the bullshit. And so it's like, oh, okay. But I mean, I appreciate hearing that. I mean, that's super awesome.
Yeah, and it was really intense. I feel like I grew a lot during that trip because I was on my own. With a lot of people that are just like, understanding that the coffee market and how it works is just not fair for farmers at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
do you feel that you might hear? I don't want to say a gripe, but like a complaint or conversations about like C market price, because there's like I see a lot of articles on like Daily Coffee News or Sprudge or whatever, and they're talking about like a C market crisis kind of thing going on. And then I'll read the articles in it, but I mean I don't work in that side. I don't have spreadsheets and stuff like that. I'm just a roaster. So are those things that you might hear farmers talking about, like why aren't we getting paid more per pound?
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. All the time from them. And then I feel like other buyers they don't really talk, like talk about that. Like a farmer's not gonna go to, a roaster that's visiting and be like, hey, why are you paying me so little?
Yeah.
Like they can't do that right in front of them.
Of course.
But with me they do. So
Damn.
So it was intense, but then we had great conversations, and definitely they understand that it's also like there's a lot of competition here as well. So it's difficult on both ends. So that was like a intense like trip, but also just like beautiful because of it.
Yeah.
It helped me be more direct as well.
That's great.
And communicate better. And then like a really fun story was in Peru, I visited this co-op, Copopsi co-op that
Yes.
And it was like the day before I left, we had a really good time, and they decided to throw me like a little party at like 3 p.m., like a day party.
Sick.
And I was like, cool. And
Was it just you?
It was like me and like the leaders of the co-op and the people that worked at the offices at the co-op and some of the farmers, and they all gave like a little presentation and speech and stuff like that. And then they played some traditional music, and then they were like, Pablo, you should play some of your music. And I was like, no way. I was like, you guys, I'm not going to play my music. I'm really sorry. And they're like, come on. So then it was like 5 p.m. And then I started playing my music, and literally everyone just started dancing. And I started dancing, and then they were like, teach us how to dance. Like, you dance. So that I did. And then like, seriously, like we were there till like 2 a.m, just like dancing and having a great time. And then, it was just so fun. And then we all went to get pizza after. Like, a lot of them have never had pizza before.
Ever?
No, even though there was a pizzeria there. Like, the farmers don't just go to a
pizzeria.
I don't know. It wasn't like a thing. And it was just so fun.
Were they stoked? They're like, oh my God, it's so good.
It was not good.
It wasn't good?
I feel like we woke up the only person in the town that like knew how to make a pizza, and she like did her best, but it wasn't good.
Damn.
But it was just so much fun to like, dance with everyone.
Yeah.
It really like connected us. I think it was nice.
Is there a certain song that brings you back to that memory right there?
Yes. What is it called?
Dude.
Leave My Room. It's called Leave My Room.
Leave My Room?
Yeah, you should listen to it.
Who's it by?
Some weird band.
Dude, that's sick.
But yeah, that song definitely.
Dude, hell yeah. I back that.
Yeah, so that's that. But yeah, again, it was a lot of responsibility, and it was really draining, but rewarding. And I'm lucky that I still have, I'm still connected with those people. We still chat.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling them like I'm new at a company, like I can't make decisions like I used to before, but hopefully in the future. And I mean, they're all like really good producers that I liked working with, so we'll see.
That's sick.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were you said that in that story you're not an American speaking Spanish essentially. Does that, I mean, if you're trying to speak Spanish, or you have somewhat knowledge of it, do they appreciate that more, or is it more like don't even try?
No, I think it's definitely appreciated. It's like a sign of like respect.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people like even if you speak it funny, like don't worry about it. Like it's definitely, it means more to them that you're trying.
Yeah.
That if you don't, if
100%.
you're literally not even trying to speak to them and you have to rely on a translator, that's fine. But I don't know. It definitely means more to them. And like if you're dealing with farmers, I mean, with exporters is different, but if you're working directly with farmers, like most of these people don't even have a full like high school education. Mm-hmm. So even their Spanish is like different. So they're definitely going to be more shy about like talking to you directly and telling you exactly what they want to say. Yeah. It's just a cultural thing, like they're and I get it,
Yeah. Do you I mean, is Ecuadorian Spanish a little bit different than Mexican Spanish?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, as you go, what countries have you been to for origin?
Mexico, just Mexico and Peru,
just
and
Mexico
Ecuador.
So have you, I mean, in all three of those Spanish speaking countries, is there the different dialect that you're just like, oh wait, you have to adapt each time you're in those different, I mean, countries?
No, my Spanish is very Mexican.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is great. I feel like I have my own Spanish that people like recognize, and it's like Tijuana Spanish.
Okay.
And even when I go to like Peru or something, that's how I speak.
Okay.
Because I don't know, that's just the accent that I have.
Okay.
And I feel comfortable doing it. It's just really fun. I feel like Mexican Spanish is so fun. Mm-hmm. And it makes people really comfortable because you're laughing a lot and doing a lot of like the you know.
That's sick, dude.
So I do it, and I feel like it makes people really comfortable.
Dude, that's what's up. I mean, I think it's so important that, I mean, I started trying to learn Spanish like really hard right when I started in coffee, because I've been seeing all those articles about that barrier, and that's been 100%. I'm born and raised in a Mexican family, but we never spoke Spanish. Like, I think only a couple of my cousins speak Spanish. But because I got into coffee, and because I started to have the appreciation of like all these coffee producing countries are mainly Latin speaking countries, I was all, bro, I need to learn this. So I've started, whenever I started in, I guess coffee is like close to 5 years ago now. So it's been 5 years of practice, like going to college and going back to college and just doing like learning how to do it with other young ass kids. And it's like, fuck it. Just gotta try it. And then I see you just like, boom, just like boss moves on the phone. I'm like, damn, son, I gotta be like Pablo. Dude, that's so sick. I mean, what are your aspirations in general with coffee? I mean, do you see yourself branching out from coffee, or is this you're in it to win it with coffee?
I don't know. I definitely obviously love working in the coffee industry, and I definitely see myself like just keep developing my career in the green coffee sector of the business. I really enjoy that part of it. I mean, I love being a barista too, and the retail side of it. I still have a big passion for it, but I feel like, especially because of the origin work, like I definitely like working in the green sector of the industry. But also like through like the festival and collaborating with, like Itzel and the designer and the videos, like I definitely feel like at some point maybe it would be cool to pursue something in that realm of like marketing probably. That would also be super cool. Just because I feel like every company that I've worked for, like I've done that, and it comes naturally. So hopefully one day. But
that's sick.
I'm happy where I'm at, and there's always room to grow and learn and become better. And having my side project of the festival keeps me like in a balanced state where I'm doing, the importing work, and then I also have this venue for me to be creative and kind of call the shots on that side of creative work.
That's rad. Have you thought about going into roasting or anything like that?
No, never. I definitely, I feel like the part where I could make the most progress as far as like understanding the coffee industry. I've never roasted ever. I've done some sample roasting, but even that I've never done much of it, and never done production roasting. And I definitely notice whenever you go to Origin that it's important to know that, like, because farmers, like when you're there, it's always come up like, what kind of coffee is best to roast? Like, what can we do for the roasting? Or a lot of these like,
oh wow,
a lot of these like co-ops and coffee farms, like they never get to try their coffee roasted well because they just don't have the equipment, or they don't. There's no like. People tend to roast darker in general around the world. So
yeah.
I'm like, you guys can't really even taste exactly what you're doing on mass. Like maybe the people in the QC labs get to try it, but not everyone else. Everyone else just kind of gets like something roasted in like an aluminum like thing, and it's not really the best. So I'm like, if I knew how to roast, a lot of these co-ops, again, I'm seeing they're starting to like open their little coffee shops and they're starting to roast their own coffee for their communities. And it would be super awesome to know that, so I can go, like for example, like a co-op, they really want me to go back, not because they want me to like buy their coffee, but they want me to go and give barista training to like their youth, you know? And
Dude, sick.
so I feel like that's definitely an aspect that I would love to develop. Like I've been really thinking about taking like some roasting classes at the San Diego Coffee is it Institute.
Isn't it? That's the thing that Elliot has, right?
No,
is that?
that's in the Virtuoso building.
Oh, I read an
The San
article
Diego,
on that.
yeah.
Dietrich helped with that.
Yeah, so
Dude, sick.
that'd be something cool to do. But yeah, definitely perfecting like roasting is on my to-do lists.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saving that for later.
Okay, yeah. It it becomes time consuming, like for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, that's, to be 100% honest, I've never thought about what you just said. You know, some of the farmers have never tasted their coffee roasted well. That's kind of shocking to hear, and unfortunate as well, because they're just hoping to get it sold, but they don't even know what they're sitting on in a sense, or what they're working with. And it's like, this is, you know, for lack of a better term, it's gold. You know, there's amazing complexities, and then there's like flavors that come through that shine because of the terroir that's in the ground there. I mean, that's like, it's a shame. That's kind of like honestly kind of bums me out. Like, damn.
And I feel like for them to like develop economic for them to develop businesses too, it's important for them to know how to roast coffee, but they don't have that knowledge, a lot of them, on how to roast, or you know, they obviously don't have access to the equipment. But I feel like more and more I do see roasters in origin countries like developing like their own equipment and machines to roast. I know Mexico has like really good ones, and Colombia does too. So that I feel like a lot of the origins, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Mexico, Peru, their like internal consumption, it's starting to like look more at the third wave coffee deal. And I feel like farmers would really benefit from like knowing how to roast as well.
Yeah, that would, I mean,
or at least like understanding that part of it
mm-hmm.
for conversations, and to give them like pointers. I think it's really important. Definitely.
There was actually one thing I was told that I wasn't aware of until today, but you actually, because you've gone to Origin, you've helped the farmers. What did you? Somebody was mentioning you did something with raised beds for drying the coffee.
Yeah. So for a Peruvian co-op, we built 7 enclosed drying beds, because during the harvest season, when they're processing the coffee, it also rains a lot. And one of the many things that could really like damage the quality of your coffee is humidity.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like when you're drying the coffee, you really needed to like be drying at a like low pace with like very low humidity, not directly under the sun, because it like damages the internal construction of the actual green bean. So having a cupboard made out of plastic just helps the scoring.
Shade.
Yeah, it creates shade, and it covers it from the rain.
Okay.
So that's, we partner up at Global with 7 different coffee roasters and individuals that like donated enough to build 7 of these. And they're at the co-op in Peru. So I did that project. It was called the Chakra Project. The opportunity's still there. If anybody's ever interested in working on something like that, like definitely I'm hoping to keep that going in the future. But yeah, that was something cool that I was able to help. And it was literally just connecting like the co-op with roasters, and just literally I was just in the middle. and then making sure to do like follow up and stuff like that.
Bro, can you please let me know when you're gonna do that? I want to go. I want to go to Peru and help build some raised air. But hell yeah, let's get it cracking.
Yeah, I mean they totally have the capacity to like build it, and they have the materials. It's just honestly like if it's gonna cost $150 or $200 for a farmer, that's a lot of money. If if they're making like
that's it,
$5,000 a year, $3,000 a year, like 200 is a lot.
Yeah.
For us, it's just like it's
just $100,
but for them, that's a lot of money. That's like food for months.
What if you just like donated it? Like,
so a lot of people did that, but you have to do it in like a structured way, and you have to see like follow up, and you need their team to go and visit and know exactly who has the space to do it, who's going to do it, who needs it, who really doesn't.
Yeah.
And the co-op has like 500 members, so.
Whoa. So it's always available to do that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, dude, I could definitely see myself doing something like that. That'd be rad. Damn. What would you need to do to like if you wanted to get involved with that as a roaster?
I would say right now I would honestly just put you directly with the co-op.
Okay.
And then I could always be in the middle. Like I still help Eric with like some of the sourcing in Mexico. I'm just like in the middle.
Yeah. No, that's perfect.
Because people feel comfortable just like talking to me about exactly what they need, and I feel like they have a hard time telling the people on the end over here.
Yeah.
And I pull it from them. I'm like, okay, what are you actually comfortable with doing? And let's do that. And then they told me, and then I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, just be direct, like we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Just that way, there's no miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
That's an underlying theme, man. I mean, being in San Diego, I feel San Diego. It's always like huge Latin influence here, Mexican influence. I mean, it was Mexico, right? But even though in the 10 years that I've been here, I've seen more Spanish and more like Mexican influence just spreading out across the entire city. I mean, it's not uncommon to go into anywhere you're hearing Spanish. I mean, you see signs and billboards, everything is Spanish. So it's like people are naturally evolving to speak Spanish here. I feel like, I mean, it's really, I know there is people, but it's really hard to find people who don't like even know how to say like at least hello or like thank you or something in Spanish here. I mean, it's but to have like someone like yourself or just native speakers who are able to bridge that gap, bro, it's amazing. It's really like you're in such amazing position. I mean, and that goes across all boundaries too. I mean, if it wasn't in coffee, you could definitely get a job easier somewhere being as fluent and bilingual as you are. Do you value that every single day? Just like, hell yes. Like I speak Spanish just as well as I speak English.
Yeah. And more than that, I just feel like being able to, I was from Ecuador, and I did like growing up, I did see like different, I don't know, my parents we grew up in the city, but they definitely always made the time to like take me to the communities in the Amazon and the like poor communities in the Andes, and kind of like looking at reality, and like they were really into that, and I feel like it really helped me be kind of comfortable with all kinds of people.
Yeah.
And especially also like being like gay, and then going to meet these people, like I have to be like super comfortable and super secure about being myself, and like I feel like there's so many factors that just played into helping me thrive at communication with people from different levels.
Dude, that's rad. So you keep saying communication, like it's throughout the conversation. I love that, because communication is 100% something that I value in everything, whether it's doing the podcast, speaking to my friends, speaking to professionals. Do you think that communication is just everything in what you're doing, whether it's the City Fest, speaking to farmers, speaking to people in your daily life? I mean, you're probably speaking a lot more than just anybody in general, because you're doing bilingual. You're just like boom, 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 boom. You can fire it off just as fast. How important do you think communication is just in general? Because like a lot of people don't even communicate. Like they can't even get their point across.
No, it's crazy. Like I feel like the festival itself, I mean, yes, we have spreadsheets and stuff, but it's definitely like just communicating with people. Even like a short email, just like, hey, just checking in, just want to make sure, like, it definitely helps. I've definitely gotten more comfortable like with calls too on the phone.
Yeah.
I used to not be that comfortable. I used to be like such an email person, and this year I think it just finally, I think it's just part of growing up. And then like now I just pick up the phone and I'm like, okay, we can crank out like 10 different things like quicker,
so
faster.
Easy.
You just obviously have to follow up with like some written statements. So you
always. Or do you feel like, I mean, are you on a level where you'd be texting people like, hey, we have this like this relationship. Hey, this is the easier way to get a quicker response?
Yeah, that too. That works.
Yeah. I mean, I could not agree more. Just communicate, over communicate at all times. So what do you have here?
Well, I brought our vendor list.
Oh, okay.
If you're interested.
Yeah, dude, let's shout out these vendors.
Oh man, I'm just excited because this is like a really cool, like diverse group of vendors that we have this year. I mean, every year we have all kinds of vendors, but we have 7Cs, we have Alto, Cold Brew Filters, Bird Rock, Black Ring, El Burro Rayado. They make vegan donuts. They're from Tijuana.
Sick.
Modern Times, Nibble Chocolate, Oatly, Tenure. They make like really cool candles. Por Vida,
sick.
Bootstrap Kombucha, Tired Eyes, Good Vibes from LA. Mary June, who she's an artist. She works at Virtuoso, makes really cool coffee inspired art. Chicano Soul Food.
Yes.
La Serena Shop. Isla Sweets. Emily Hess, really cool artist. Chicano Sweet Treats. Ikawa. Super stoked to have them this year. Munchies Coffee from LA. Peerless Coffee and Tea. Crafted Beverage Co. Gentle Riot. Unison Bakes, and we have like our Cold Brew City booth.
Wow.
So it's a lot of artists and coffee companies and bakers.
Dude.
Just a good mix of people that like maybe like Nibble Chocolate, for example, not a coffee vendor, but a lot of shops carry them, and I feel like they respect coffee as much as they respect the chocolate. Also kombucha, I think it's super cool. So
yeah, that's a pretty hefty lineup of people, man. That's really cool to be amongst those people. Is there another one? You have another people. What else did you have there? You got Pablo has notes, people. He came prepared.
No, this is just the email that you sent me.
Oh, okay. That's tight. You printed that out? Dude,
Yeah.
I'm mad respect, Pablo. I love that. Dude. So we've already kind of actually, yeah. Dude. We've already done like hour 15. Dude, we've covered everything. Is there anything left that you wanted to like just touch on? Any major shout outs before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just like extend a formal invitation to everyone that wants to like come to like a fun coffee party, basically. Like make sure to get your ticket. Last year we sold out, so like don't be left outside. Definitely make sure you and your friends get your ticket. So your ticket gets you the token to do the tasting for the signature. You get a token to vote for the best design. And then you also get a free cold brew can donated by Oatly, who's our title sponsor. So it's like a super cool like glass can for drinking cold brew or beer or whatever you want. And we have DJs and music, and it's just going to be fun. So definitely make sure to get your ticket for that. You're supporting an independent, local group of people that are putting on an event for the community and a platform to bring small companies and big companies together and just make it fun for everyone.
Yes.
Great place to come and like network. Definitely. And get and collaborate. Like we just want to make sure people meet each other and then collaborate. Like I want artists to meet another roaster and then do artwork together. Like that's what I'm hoping.
Okay. And Instagram and the website, where can they find all that?
Yeah, we finally have a website. So coldbrewcityfest.com.
All
Please
one word?
check it out. Yeah.
Okay.
coldbrewcityfest.com. First year we have a website, and it was a lot of work, but it was fun to do it. And our Instagram is Cold Brew City Fest.
Yes.
So check it out.
And do you want to shout out your personal Insta?
Yeah, coffee playtime.
Yes.
If you want to keep up with my crazy antics, yeah, definitely.
Yes, yes. Well, dude, Pablo,
Thank you for having me.
bro, it's been a super honor. Seriously, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you for sharing your stories, and just I can't wait to be a part of this Cold Brew City Fest. Everybody come shout out to all the homies on that list, and definitely come and support 7C. Shout out Eric, all the homies. And yeah, I'll see you there, sir.
Thank
Dude,
you.
give me some right. Peace.